Hey, Facebook. We're here at our undisclosed location. Get ready for our investigation. Let's do our quick introductions real quick. I'm Mike.
Hey guys, I'm Ed, team leader.
And let me turn to
Leah.
There you are. You got to do it again.
Leah.
We got Leah. So what we're going to do, here's our setup here. We're going to just go through basically what we would do on a regular investigation. We're going to start out with our walkthrough. Just to get familiar with the location. Now, the client isn't here at the moment, but Ed has all the information. He did the research on the property, and excuse me. So we're going to go through. Ed's going to lead the walkthrough. First thing here you want to point out is one of the most important things you can do when you go into a location is to do your research. And you see Ed has his research in his hand. Just want to make sure that you're going in with a little bit of information. Now, one thing that we do that's a little differently, hey, Brittany, Leah will not actually go with us on the walkthrough. And Leah, do you want to explain why?
No.
No? All right, so Leah prefers to go in cold, so she has no idea. She doesn't have any information about the location. She likes to have not have that confirmation bias, so she's not led in one way or the other. So Ed and I are going to start walking through to do our walkthrough. So around here to Ed.
All right, let me turn the lights on.
You want to make sure that you scout a location either during the day or with the lights on, because not only worrying about paranormal danger, there's physical dangers at a location. I mean, this is a fairly old place. I've got a pull string right here inches from my head that if I hadn't noticed, I probably would have smacked myself silly with that. So,
Yeah, he's absolutely right. He just, as far as the research, I met earlier this week with a client, sat down with him, got a list of claims and activities. Then I went back. Most of your counties have public records you can get online, or you can do what I do. I like to call the local tax assessor's property number, and they'll give the property address, and they'll give you the history on it as far as who's it been sold to, so forth and so on. You take that, then you can do some more background checks that we'll get into a little bit more detail, and what that'll do is that'll give you some basis of the information. So we're going to start in this corner room.
Now, something I'm going to do as we walk along, first piece of equipment we're going to introduce here. This is a electromagnetic field tester. You're going to hear it referred to as an EMF tester. There's several different variations on the market, varying anywhere from $20 to hundreds of dollars. This one's about middle of the road. I like it because it measures in milligauss, which is usually what I use. It also measures in Tesla. Most paranormal activity you register in the milligauss range, anything 2.0 and above, but you also have to realize that electricity also registers in that. So faulty wiring, microwave ovens, electrical outlets, cell phones, things like that can give you false readings. So I'm going to walk through with this on and get a baseline reading of the location. Get a baseline reading of the location to see if there's anything in here that we can rule out, because we don't want to come back later and be like, oh, that was paranormal, and it's not. Another extra added feature on this particular meter is that it measures air temperature. So if we come across any temperature anomalies as we're walking through, we can document that as well. Ed?
Yeah, so some of the claims that the client gave us in this room, like Mike said earlier, what we'll do is we'll meet the client. I'll document the claims, then Mike and I will go through a walkthrough. Leah will be completely code of the situation. Then after we're going to go off live. Mike's doing his walkthrough now just to confirm some ideas. But what we'll do is I'll tell Mike the claims, he'll document that, then Leah and Mike will do their walkthrough. And from that kind of gives us more of a confirmation of what's going on. It gives us a direction of what we need to do. And what you do in there, Mike's checking all the outlets to see if there's any power escaping or anything like that. That could explain any kind of activity.
Now, something that a lot of people don't think about whenever they're checking, that's going to be next to impossible because of the height of the ceiling. But fans, when they're on, and it's not going to do it because I'm not close enough, that fan motor constantly moving will actually cause EMF to go off, whether it's shielded properly or not. Science fact for the day.
Yes.
All right, so we've got a baseline of 0 in this room. It's temperature of 71 degrees, but I'd say that's mostly the fan.
So what we'll do now, if we're doing, what we'll do now is we'll actually, I'll take Mike, we'll do the walkthrough, like in this room. Some of the claims from the clients, some of the people who are here all the time, is in this noise, or in this particular room, they hear a constant walk back and forth. They also hear knocks, and occasionally the blinds will move by themselves. And that's a lot of things that we got to do tonight to debunk. The fan is moving, the blinds do move a little easy by themselves, and we're not too far from a main road, but that's some things that we have to debunk through the process. So we're not going to go because it's dark and scary at night, it makes a noise, we're scared. We're going to try to get some evidence, debunk whatever we have left. We'll go back to the client and provide them some information, education, and empowerment about what needs to be done.
And just to let you guys know, the definition of debunking is just trying to find a natural explanation for something. There's some people out there that, like Ed said, that blind moves one time, they're like, oh, it's a ghost. But then we come in here and find out, oh, the fans move the blinds whenever it's on. That's what debunking is, so.
Yeah, and the other thing is, if we use a term that you don't know that we use, that you don't know the meaning of it, ask a question. We'll be glad to give you the answer. We also do a monthly newsletter, which is a lot of fantastic information that you won't find from most groups out there. So we're going to continue our walkthrough.
Quick shout out here before we go anywhere. Chad, thanks for coming on the line, buddy. Thomas.
Thank you,
and
Chad.
Ted, the spiritual prayer warrior, is here. So we've got some support on the other end. Ted, we'll take all we can get there, brother.
That's it. Keep praying. We need everything we got. Now, obviously, we would not be this loud. We're doing this so for the audience's purposes, for education. But what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and continue going through. Hey, Mike, so on some of the claims here, this is a restroom.
Yes.
You notice first thing that Mike checks for is, and especially in a building that's older, you want to check for spider webs, falling things. We are investigators, but it's not. I'll be the first one to tell you, if I run into a spider, I'll probably make a new hole in the wall.
You turn into the magic ninja at that point.
That's it.
Trying to get it off of you.
We've got a fantastic 1940s deal going on. But some of the claims is here is the people who use this restroom feel things that are uncomfortable behind the door, as in someone staring at you, someone's going to pounce or jump on you. That's some things that we need to, throughout the night, we'll investigate and we'll debunk. If we find something, or if you hear something or you think you see something, comment. We'll go back and research. An extra pair of eyes always helps.
I mean, comment now as we're doing this walkthrough. If anybody sees anything that we're not catching, absolutely call it out.
All right, so let me get the light switches here. Well, the thing is you always, when you do an initial walkthrough, you want to make sure the lights are, the light switches are. What you want to do, you want to know where the escapes are at, the closest hospital. Something as we do as a team, right? We're not the youngest folks in the world, but we always carry a first aid kit. We know where the local hospital is. Leah is in the medical field. Mike and I are both first aid trained. So, I mean, we know each other's personal medical history. So, there's a difference between being allergic to something. And, you might come across in places that are abandoned. You can come across asbestos, mold, so stuff like that. If we thought that was bad, or if you're going to a private residence, we've been there, where it's bad, really, really bad, hoarder bad. That's hoard with a D.
Hoarder.
Yes,
those of you that watch A&E, Hoarders, the TV show.
But wear a mask, wear gloves. Your safety is more important. Even on the spiritual side of that, before we meet and throughout the week before we do an investigation or evaluation, we keep each other in prayer. We constantly communicate before, during, and after, just in case something affects us. We do specialize in clients that, we work with people from all over the world: Germany, Poland, New Mexico, Canada. I mean, Mike and Leah do some great communications online with some folks that just have general questions. Now, if you've got a general question, and look, the only question that's stupid is one you didn't ask, okay?
Right.
That's it. So some of the claims in this, Mike, I'm sorry.
No problem. Before you go with that, since we've got 6 people watching right now, Ed mentions questions. After we do this walkthrough, that's when we're going to stop and do our question and answer session. So if anybody's got any questions that you can think of that you already have, go ahead and jot them down. If you've got questions about the location before we go in here, when we get done doing this walkthrough, we'll answer those questions. So be ready for that.
Yeah. So if we were doing the walkthrough, Mike and I would tell them, hey, Mike, so some of the claims in here. Okay.
I'm going to get a shot of the room while you're talking.
Yes, it's a huge room. As far as EVPs, the first thing I would pay attention to is an echo, right?
Yeah, because there is a window right there, and there's a main drag going that way.
That's it. In this room that we're physically in, there are claims of footsteps. There's claims of the windows rattling. In this back office back here.
Okay.
This door, according to the individuals who call us out, this room, the chair apparently moves sometimes. The guy who works here is pretty good. He's got a little OCD, so he pushes everything up.
Yeah.
Because he probably trips over it like I would. But he'll come in sometimes and this chair's moved. First thing I notice, it's slanting downhill and the chair runs into the table. So that's something we need to evaluate.
So when you say slanting downhill, like it's slanting my direction?
It is rolling down towards you this way.
Okay.
So the idea that this might roll back and spin, something we need to look at.
Okay.
The other thing is this door sometimes shuts by itself. He'll come in the morning and this door shuts. They do have an alarm system, and sometimes the alarm company will call and say, we got a motion sensor going off, and it's usually the one in this corner. Now that could be something natural, something not natural, so we need to evaluate that throughout the night.
Right.
But tonight's goal, for our client anyways, they were very gracious to let us do this, and we appreciate that.
Yes.
We're going to keep that information private, and the reason is, what we do as a team, as a ministries, we help people feel empowered in education, right? Where you work and where you live is your home, your sanctuary. If you can't sleep at night, there's no reason to be there, right? If I went home and I found somebody that might be the nicest person in the world hanging out in my living room, I'm going to get upset. I don't understand these folks who think that the ghost of Aunt Betty is hanging out at your house. I don't do my house, my rules. I get to decide who's there. So we'll go ahead and go through the.
Excuse me.
We'll go through the other areas here.
Yes, Ted. This is a building that is in use on a regular basis, and it houses a business Monday through Friday. Correct?
That is absolutely correct. The building. That's a fantastic question, Ted. Boy, but the echo's insane in here.
Yeah. Echo.
But the building was abandoned for about 6 years. From some background information, the same people owned it, but it was abandoned for 7 years. We do have proof. I spoke to some individuals who had worked here previously, reached out to them, took a few weeks for them to call me back. They did confirm, and I also confirmed with the police report, that homeless people have broke in, and there was a dead individual in this building. Mm-hmm. I'll give Mike the location. Then if Leah picks up on that, that will just give us more confirmation bias. Here is what they call a men's bathroom. Not the nicest in the world, but again, And, this is something, like noises and stuff. You can look at the ceiling, tiles falling down or whatever. You kind of want to, stuff that need to evaluate. No claims of anything activity-wise or anything in here, other than, pipes or whatever moving.
And that's just nothing in there, just a dark room.
This is just, at one time, they're telling me, Mike, that's a question. There used to be a bench here and the guys would, get dressed, change out. Whatever.
Oh, okay. I'll walk out in front of you here.
Absolutely. One of the things that, as an investigator, and we appreciate for everybody watching.
Yeah, definitely.
We're not doing this for popularity. Really don't care. We're doing this for education. Make sure people who want to get involved in this get trained properly, because you can get really messed up really quick.
Very quickly, yes.
This is just a storage closet. No claims in here at all. This part of the building, they're not really in that much.
Okay.
We'll see that when we go down a little bit. Just like we carry flashlights, first aid kits. Big pet peeve of mine. If you go on an investigation, wear deodorant, right? I get it, common sense. Drink water. Take your medication. If you don't feel good, say something. It might be paranormal. It could be something else. So there's no power in here at all, Mike, in this room.
All right, now let me add something to what Ed just said. Now, you want to take basic hygiene rules when you go on an investigation, but you want to make sure that you don't over-perfume or over-cologne yourself, because you can that can potentially lead to what's called phantom smells. And people will think, oh, I'm smelling the ghost of my dead, whatever. Did you hear that?
I heard that.
Now, did that door shut on its own?
Well, that's actually a good thing. It was this door, but see how quickly it closes?
Yeah.
That's definitely something we got to check out.
Yeah.
See, I mean,
Did y'all hear that? I don't know. If y'all heard that whenever we were talking, please comment. That was kind of interesting.
and I heard it shut when we first came in, so that's interesting. This is another bathroom. There is a claim in here, Mike.
Okay.
A previous employee has passed on information to me that he was in the building by himself for about 1.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Braver than I am. But he said that one morning he came in and he heard noises back here. Of course, again, because of the history and the location, for safety purposes, he came back here and checked it out. And didn't find anybody, but when he came back here, he swore that he saw somebody run out the hallway. Now, we'll go down that hallway as soon as we back out.
All right.
Watch your step.
Yep. Ted confirms he did hear the door shut.
Awesome, Ted. Good ears. So so he was coming down the hallway and he said he saw somebody run down here. As you can see, I mean,
or as much as you can see.
We're just trying to give you a view of what we have to, right? You know, you watch this stuff on TV, this guy's got night vision cameras.
Right. Hey, Beth, thanks for popping on here.
Hey, I appreciate that, Beth. That's awesome.
And Ted, Ed and I are the only two currently people in the building outside of my wife, Leah. But Leah is still sitting in that room up front because she, as we mentioned earlier, she doesn't do the initial walkthrough, so that she goes in cold. So the three of us are the only ones in the building right now.
Yeah, so when we get done with this, we're about halfway through. We'll take a break for a few minutes, right? Let everything charge up, get a game plan. Michael, I've got documents of everything that the client gave us, information, whatever. Then Mike will take his pad, him and Leo come through, and I'll videotape. And what'll happen, sometimes Leah picks up stuff, right? And for me personally, you look at it and go, wow, that's pretty cool. You know, she's picking up something that she doesn't know nothing about. And that, to me, is extremely fascinating. Now, over here behind this mic is a break room that's not being used.
Okay.
Now, the only claimant in this room is, again, this door shut one time. You do have, he's doing his walkthrough too, multitasking.
Always want to check your power boxes.
Yep. And to Michael's point, there's a thing, we check this with clients, and you probably have heard this on TV. Some folks are sensitive to maybe electricity or EMFs. So if you're around these, especially like older homes, pre-1980s, some of this wiring doesn't stay shielded or is shielded correctly. So there's a mentality called a fear cage. Basically, the energy off these power lines will get into your system, and it can make you hallucinate, make you feel off balance. It has given me vertigo before. Mm-hmm. So this is stuff as an investigator, you just don't need to go. Number one, find somebody you trust. Okay. Number two, more importantly, I believe, is make sure that you have your faith foundation laid out. Because the simple thing is, some of this is fun, but it could easily and quickly you can be obsessed with this thing. The thing that we tell investigators, we tell each other, don't ever investigate your own home.
No.
That is a huge no-no. That is your house. If I thought something was wrong with my house, I wouldn't even call Michael and Lee. I would call back one of our trusted teams that we work with and have them come evaluate that, because, you know, I would be too involved.
All right. Hey, Melissa, thanks for stopping in to watch us play in the dark.
Yeah. Again, watch this video if it's posted when we get done. If you hear something, just tag it and give us the time. Share the video. Again, this is about educating folks. That's our big thing. That's our calling, right? We try to empower and educate folks. And what we want to do is just make people feel comfortable in their homes. And that's it.
Hey, Thomas, where approximately were we at when you caught the low frequency? Was it back in that room we just came out of? Let's hang close and see what Thomas says.
Okay. So when we're waiting on Thomas to respond, if he can, I'm gonna walk over here, Mike.
Okay.
One key thing is never investigate pallet.
And there, right there, is a great example of not being situationally aware.
Yep.
See this pallet right here? Got to be careful when you're looking around stuff like that.
Can't find Casper if you got a busted face.
Thomas said it was in this room that we're standing in right now.
Okay.
Closer to the windows, actually. So I'm going to walk back over here for a second.
Well, there is a power box right there.
All
That's
right.
a good catch, Thomas. Thank you.
Tori and Trevor, thanks for joining us tonight.
Hey, we appreciate y'all watching. If you got any questions, ask questions. That's what we're here for. Y'all know me pretty well. I answer anything.
Tori says, what about family members' houses? Do you guys do that, or is that a no-no as well?
We absolutely would do a family member's house, but if I was doing one of my children's house or something to that effect, an immediate family member, I would let Michael and Leah do it personally, and I would step back, and I would be there because that's my job, but I would make sure I would let Michael and Leah take the lead on those situations. If you've got a house that you're about to get or whatever, you know, shoot us a message or give us a call. Thomas, we're actually, just let us know, Tori. That'd be great.
All right, I'm not picking up anything on the EMF detector. Let me get the... light mode here so everybody can see. And we're not getting any electromagnetic field. We are getting a temperature of 68 degrees, which is about a degree or two colder than the rest of the building. But we are standing right next to windows, and these are single pane, so they're not providing a lot of insulation there, if you get my drift, or get my draft. Oh, that was a bad joke.
Horrible puns. All right, Mike, let's head on that this way.
All right.
And watch that pallet that I just...
Yes, sir.
But yeah, to Tori and Trevor's point, if you have a location, like you're about to get a new house, or you're in a house or a new apartment or whatever, and you feel like you just want to make sure it's sealed and you feel comfortable in your home, give us a call. That's what we do. Hey, Mike, you want to give them our phone number?
I will when we get done with the walkthrough. My hands are full at the moment.
That's all right. Yeah, we'll do it. And we have an email on the website and all that stuff, but again, it's about making people comfortable in your home.
I have to confess, once they invented speed dial and whatnot, I quit memorizing phone numbers.
All right, so in here, Mike, other than the claim of seeing someone run, sorry, I tend to talk loud. Sorry, Southern Baptist. But when you hear something weird, or you know, my first thought it might be a rat or something. So I mean, I'll be jumping up in Mike's arms if it is. But sometimes, especially if you're doing an initial walkthrough, the spiritual realm will make itself known, because you know that's what it does. Now, here, Mike, this is a room that has a lot of claims. Okay.
All right.
I have no idea what this room was used for previously or currently. It's just housing. But the claim in here by the people who work here, own it.
Right.
The biggest claim is they hear whistling or giggling back here. Now, when someone tells me whistling and giggling, I can think of 1,000 normal things, but when I ask, did it have a rhythm, right? So that's something as investigators we ask, does it have a rhythm? And this individual actually named a tune. It's called shave and a haircut, right?
Yeah.
And it's and somebody would follow up with,
Yep.
made famous by, I guess, taps or whatever. They said they heard that as knocking, as whistling. They said it was not Johnny Rebs, one of the Confederate songs they used to sing.
Dixie?
Yeah, well, Jesus, could have picked that up. Lived here all my life. Yeah, Dixie was the song he named.
Christy, thanks for joining us.
So that room has a lot of claims that.
Give everybody a shot of it real quick before we head on.
In this room, okay, huge room. Now, for everybody here, this room is where someone was found dead. When the building was abandoned, of course, when they reopened, they had to call law enforcement to come get them. But there were some homeless people that was camped out here, and this individual died. It was a male. So that is one confirmed death, and there is a second suspected death that there's actually like a crawl space under the building.
Oh yeah.
Where a homeless person, that's why they have a lock, during the winter about 4 winters ago, crawled in there to stay warm. The door got stuck and it flooded. The back of the building does flood, and it's about halfway up the building. So that is a rumor. I have not been able to confirm that.
Okay.
And for safety purposes, Mike, you want to watch for the extension cord there, the hole in the floor here?
Yes.
Okay. And that's where down.
Way on down.
Okay.
All right.
Another open area. The claims here, the individuals who work here, have this comment every time when I talk to them was, when you interview people, something that we like to watch is their body language, right?
Right.
Okay, if you got your arms crossed, you really don't care. Your arms are flaring, your eyelids. This individual did this experiment. This individual is a man of faith. But he did this thing. He said when he comes in here, he feels like something is doing this motion. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And my question was, do you see anything? Because I never seen anything. But the other individual who works here has seen. And I have not spoke to him, so that's secondhand information. But he says whatever he feels like is standing there, there is an uncomfortable, overbearing, helicopter mentality, why are you here kind of thing. That was his description. Yeah, that was his description in his room. That's why you want to take notes. Memories are bad and notes are proof.
I want to show everybody something here real quick. Now I'm standing here pretty much, let me flip a second. I'm in the middle of the room, more or less, and my EMF detector, I'm reading a 1.4. Of course, the curiosity raises, why am I picking up that kind of reading? So, first thing I did was I noticed this light above my head, and the closer, you can't really see it. The closer that I get to this light, that number goes up. See, it's up to a 1.7 now. It started at a 0.8, and then whenever I did that, I got a 1.4. So just me standing this close underneath an electric light, look at that, 3.0. Now, am I going to think that's paranormal, or am I going to think that that's that light? I'm going to go with the light. Because you notice as I walk away from it, and get, well, it's going to make a liar out of me.
Well, let's turn that light off, see what happens.
Okay, turn the light off.
Let's check it out.
I'm still showing a 3.3.
That means something's escaping. It's not shielded correctly.
Right. All right, because this is the type of investigator I am, I'm going to reset my EMF detector and the main reason is because once we turned the light off and when I walked away, I didn't get a baseline 0. So could it be my batteries? My batteries are fully charged. Could the meter have gotten hung up? Absolutely. So I like to, and I'm trying to do this at the same time with my other hand here, I like to make sure that there is no reason for doubt. So reset the meter, turn them around here. All right, so we're at a 0, 0. Get up close to the light, almost dropped the camera. Still at a 0, 0. Now why is it redlining whenever there's nothing there?
It's probably off your cell phone.
That's true. That's another thing. You got to keep in mind your cell phone can do that as well. But what I don't understand is it was giving me a red line with a 0, 0.
So
Turn the light back on, Ed. I think it's picking it up anyway. It's picking up that light.
okay. So we'll have we've got a couple more meters. We'll just reevaluate it.
Okay.
All right. We really do appreciate everybody still watching. I know. Again, this is information. We've got some really cool experiments that's going to be going on tonight, right? Number one, our team will not ever mess with spirit boxes or Ouija boards.
No.
Okay? You're asking for something to grab a hold of you, okay? And I know people is like, oh, I want to get my jollies, ooh. Yeah, well, it's not fun and games when it's at home. It's not going to come after you. It's going to go after your family.
Yeah,
and that's something we prepare for. So as far as the claims, Mike.
Seth and Kelly, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you all so much. The claims here, now you can tell that we kind of got racks here. The claims is, and we'll show you the desk in a few minutes. The claims that the people who work here is they feel like someone is running and up down these aisles and they hear footsteps, okay? Now they only hear them first thing in the morning or they hear them right before they go home. So I mean, as far as the consistency, local businesses, there is a place out back that doesn't make a lot of noise, but I was here when I did my video earlier the week. During that time, 2 different sounds. Something we need to check out here. There are some claims that product has been knocked off the shelf, okay?
Let's walk down an aisle.
Okay, we'll walk down now. Now some of this stuff is light, see? Well, it's no big deal. See that beads will fall off.
Yeah.
That's not the, so I asked for, things being knocked off, well, big deal, right? Well, you know, it could be a rope and could be a truck going by vibrating, we're not feeling it. When we get to the other side of the warehouse, I'll show you the particular items. And that's something that Michael will document. And he will reevaluate that and see if Leah picks up on that.
Okay.
Is it something that's natural, or is it something trying to get our attention kind of thing? So they kind of feel like, I don't know if you can get a shot from the desk up here. You can see the desk.
Let me get out of the way of the fans.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they kind of feel like when they hear footsteps that something comes right here and stands right here. Okay? So that's something we have to evaluate, right?
Okay.
Are they seeing something? Are they sensing something? Is it a little paranoia? You know, is it a car? There's 1,000 things we need to reevaluate. One quick note, when you're investigating, secure your location. So on a serious note, if it's your house and you're doing, all right, so just make sure you're safe. If you're doing a private residence, you're doing a warehouse, or you're doing a business, make sure it's safe. You don't want the client coming back scaring you half to death or causing you harm. And the same thing if you're in a location on the basic part of town.
And we made sure that all these doors are locked and the place is secure. I mean, y'all been with us this whole time.
Yep.
We've walked the entire building. We're fixing to be back in the room where we left Leah, and no one else is here.
we're gonna go back in here. We'll wrap it up. Break. Give us about an hour, I guess.
I just need to, what we got to do here, Ed, is we got to get the camera here back on the charger.
Okay.
And then if anybody's got any questions, we'll have the full team complement sitting in here. Hi, Leah.
Hey.
We'll get this phone plugged up. And if anybody has any questions, I know we've already had quite a few during our walkthrough. Hold on just one second, guys.
If any questions show up about what y'all just talked about, let me know and I can go somewhere else so I don't hear.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Phew, I'll just, I guess I'll just hold the phone. That's just me.
I can hold it
All right.
until.
All right. So, Ed, get in here,
You
man.
want me to read? Well, I guess I
That's
should
right.
read their questions.
Yeah, because you want confirmation bias, guys. So, does anybody have any questions about what we do, paranormal investigating in general? What Ed's favorite topping on his pizza is? I mean,
Hey, if it's free, I'm eating it. So, yeah, just leave us some questions. Post some questions. If you feel like you got something picked up on the audio or video, like Thomas did, great catch. We're gonna go back and we'll evaluate that. Leah doesn't know about that. She's not gonna know about that. So we're gonna let everything charge. Let's decompress a little bit. It's a lot of information. Then what we'll do is we'll get back on here and we'll show you how Michael and Leah works out. And I will say personally, first time I watched them, 2013, we had a tough case that we helped out, and thank God that it worked out. And that family is better off now. They got peace. They have a home that's safe. But if anybody's involved in the paranormal that knows Ed and Lorraine Warren, the Annabelle horror, what they're famous for, or that crazy doll or whatever it is,
Annabelle.
Annabelle.
If anybody's seen the Conjuring movies, that's who we're talking about.
But what it is Michael and Leah operate identical to that, and I think it's going to be a blessing for y'all to watch that because it's really cool. But we really, really appreciate everybody hanging out with us, and we'll be back in a little bit. Mike?
What about how long are we going to reconvene with them so they'll know?
Well, I still want to give another few minutes to see if anybody's got any questions. Sure. No one has popped up with anything. Rebecca just joined us. Hey, Rebecca. Thanks for coming in.
Absolutely.
Christy Cagle's phone died.
Uh-oh.
Well, the investigation's over, Christy. We conjured we cast several demons out of Ed's beard.
You missed it.
A couple of birds, too.
A couple of birds and Jimmy Hoffa's leg.
What are you?
My monster just exploded.
But yeah, if you got any questions, go ahead and post those real quick. If not, share the video, give us a call, look us up. It's paranormalhelpministry.com. We've got a phone number. Mike's going to shoot it right there.
Our phone number is 423-402-0386.
Leave us a voicemail. We'll call you back within a few minutes or 24 hours at latest. We got any questions there, Mike?
Yeah, Thomas asked, do we do outdoor investigations? Yes, we do, but you have to take extra precautions when you're doing an outdoor investigation. Again, with the physical aspect of it, you're dealing with wildlife. Depending upon where you are, you want to make sure that you're clothed properly. If it's cold at night, make sure that make sure that whenever you're doing your investigation with your audio, that you're not taking into account traffic, like Leah said, animal noises. I just completely lost my train of thought for a second. I remember we were on an investigation one time. It was a different group, and we had a camera set up outside, and they kept seeing something white darting back and forth in front of the camera. Mm-hmm. And they thought they had caught something really, really good until they saw the coyote come right up to the camera and bite it. So we found out that cemetery actually had some coyotes in the area. When you're taking pictures, especially like in the weather we've got right now, since it's so rainy, you get false positives in orbs, because whenever you take that picture, any moisture in the air will cause light refractions all over the place. Ed, you want to add, or Lee, you want to add anything to that about outdoor investigations?
I think the number one thing, again, I'm safety minded. Pay attention. And number one, get permission. For God's sakes, Don't go to a stupid cemetery in the middle of the night and you ain't supposed to be there. Number one, you're going to get arrested or shot. Or number two, and probably more important, you're going to make everybody else in the paranormal field look like a bunch of jackwagons. So we don't need that. We've got enough of those on TV now.
Thomas, we've actually investigated there, and you'll be surprised to know we didn't find anything.
Of course would. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now, we've been in the past, before we were a team. I think I may have been the first of the three of us to have actually been there. I've seen some weird stuff. Leah, I took her up there once. I think we picked up some stuff.
I picked up more stuff during the day there than when we went at night.
So you see,
it's weird.
The paranormal it's not on a time clock. It can show up during the daytime. It can show up during the nighttime. It has no time clock. But like when the three of us went up there as a team, we actually... The only weird thing we ran across was two drunk guys that were up there on their four-wheelers. No joke. I think
people came through. Actually,
yeah, we had
so
several people come through that night.
It's a hot spot at night with traffic.
I think a couple of those people are actually fans of our page now.
They are.
So
they're from Alabama.
Yeah, and y'all are not the drunks I'm talking about. Please don't think that. We've got a question here that I've got to click. It says see more. Rebecca says, I keep seeing a black dog outside, but my dog doesn't respond to it. When I say get it, it just disappears. You heard anything like that?
Absolutely. That's a very common description. Number one, the first thing that you did right off the bat is you took authority of the situation. That is your house, that's your home, that's your apartment. You told it, get rid of it, gone. That's authority, right? Number two, other than just the description you gave us, is just it's a general description. If you're concerned, and all honestly, give us a call, shoot us an email. We'll come talk to you. We'll talk to you on the phone. We'll talk to you on Facebook or whatever. Michael and Leah do a fantastic job talking to people all over the world. Again, we don't care about being on TV. This is about education. This is about empowerment. And you know, the short story of this, if it's possible, because I talk so much, but the short story of this is you feeling comfortable in your home, your place of business, and that's it. We don't care about catching the next big EVP and all that manure. We just want to make you feel comfortable, and that's it.
Yeah, and Rebecca, if you want to share any more information about that, feel free to. I gave the phone number. I'll read it out here again. I'm sorry, I still have to learn it.
And it's on our Facebook.
It's on our Facebook page, 423-402-0386. Our email address is paranormalhelp@outlook.com.
That's right.
You can email us there. You can contact us through our website, which is I'm from Georgia, y'all. www.paranormalhelpministries.com. We've got a form on there that you can contact us through. I know some people aren't comfortable talking on the phone, so whatever method of contact is your preference, we've got a way to get in touch with us. We might end up with a P.O. box before it's over with, so people can write letters to us. But we're trying to make ourselves as available as possible.
Again, and the slogan, whatever we came up with, and I absolutely love it. I fell in love with it when I heard it. We're not here to convince you. We're here to help.
That's all Leah. She came up with that.
She came up with that, and it's the God is honest truth. We're not here to convince you our way is right. We're here to make sure you feel comfortable and you sleep good at night. But we're going to get off of here.
All right. Any other questions before we go? A lot of good questions. Ted. Yes, Ted, we are going to take a break from the Facebook Live. What we're going to do is break it down. We'll get our equipment together. We're not one of those teams that has thousands and thousands of dollars worth of equipment because it's not required. You don't need. You're going to notice one thing. I'm just going to point this out kind of as a spoiler for everybody. You're going to notice as we go throughout the night, the only people that the person that's probably going to carry the most equipment is myself and maybe Ed.
Yep.
Right here is all Leah carries. This is it. You might catch her at some point with a camera in her hand taking a picture, but seriously doubt it. I mean, I'm talking past investigations. She's taken pictures, but she has gotten some of the. I mean, she picks up stuff that we don't. But that's a lesson I want to throw out. It's not about the gear. It's not about the equipment. All the bells and whistles. We have sat on an investigation with everything flatline dead, nothing going off, and having activity. So it's not about the gear, guys. It's just being aware and being knowledgeable and being wise about what you're doing. And that's the whole point of this, is we're just trying to get this information out there, because there's, and I'm not going to name names. Most of you've seen them.
I might later.
No.
You've seen them on television and whatnot. There's just, there's a lot of wrongdoing in the investigation field, and people see that on television and in movies, and they think that's how it's supposed to be done. That's the quickest way to get yourself in trouble and get yourself hurt.
Yeah,
and that's our calling. We feel like our calling is from God, to get this message out there to people that you've got authority in your own life, in your own home, and just be wise about dealing with it. I don't want it to give away too much, because that's stuff that we're going to talk about throughout the evening. How long of a break do you think we're going to take? I think Ted really wants to come back.
Honestly,
or Ted needs to really go to the bathroom.
Ted might need to go to the bathroom.
brother, I'm with you on that one. My depends are full right now. I say give us 45 minutes. We'll post a reminder about 10 minutes before we come back on our Facebook page. Say, hey, in 10 minutes we're going live. Give us about 45 minutes, Ted. We appreciate it.
And guys, if you have any more questions, don't think that this is the only time we're going to take questions. Just, we're taking a minute to sit down. We're going to get everything together when we get off here. If something else comes up you want to ask questions about, ask as we're going through. And during this break, if you've got anybody online that would be interested in watching, share this. Get some more people out there to watch. But what time is it? Let's get a time frame.
Okay, it's 8:16, so 9 o'clock.
So give us till 9 o'clock. We'll be back online, all right? All right, y'all have a good one. We'll be right back.
Appreciate it.